Welcome, everybody, to week 2 of our devotion with flowers. And I was just sharing with the group that I suspect that our one purpose as humans is to witness and notice and revel in the beauty of the earth. And this is very accessible when we're talking about flowers. And we're going to have an opportunity to see some examples of how members of our group and their family have done just that today in our presentation, which is going to be really fun. Um, the theme that came up this week, as Elizabeth shared in the email, is the holding of the grief and the joy. That was surprising to me, and I have a story I'll tell about it in a bit. But yeah, it's interesting that as we hold this really superior emblem of joy, the flower, right? Um, we got to talk about grief, and so that's also coming up this week. So I definitely needed the tissue box when I was putting together our presentation for today. It was such a blessing. It's so fun when we're kind of cracked open like that. So I guess that's some more of the medicine of the flowers that we're hanging out with this week. So let me share my screen if you all are ready. Let's see. All right. So we'll start with our 8 verses to set our field and to really come into a consciousness relationship with the flowers, the spirit of flowers. So I'll invite you to find your most comfortable position. And then imagine what I'm talking about as I evoke the 8 verses. Head expands into the sky, feet into the earth. Body is relaxed, and the mind expands out. Be respectful and quiet inside. The mind is clear. The appearance is humble. The mind is still. The mind expands out to the vast void. Illuminate deep inside. The whole body is harmonized with chi. Harmonized with chi. So as we all deepen into our Mingzhu state, I'll just say a few words on this grief and this joy that flowers invite us to hold. So really, flowers are our most vivid expression of impermanence in the natural world, right? The second they bloom, we know it's not going to keep. So they are beauty at its most concentrated and at its most brief, right? And I was thinking about how I don't think we bring flowers to funerals just to cheer people up. I think that we're bringing them in part because they are the only thing that tells us the truth about maybe what just happened. So that idea that something was precious here and now it's gone. and it was worth everything while it lasted. I discovered this Japanese concept. It's called mono aware. Mono aware. And it translates roughly as the pathos of things, or this bittersweet awareness of impermanence. And they've really built a culture around this, or cultural ritual around this idea, and the cherry blossoms, right? So here's cherry blossoms, a picture of cherry blossoms I took this year. And what we know is the second that they come to the peak of their beauty, then they fall. And we're invited to see that this grief and this beauty, the grief and the joy, are not opposites, that they're the same side, or different sides of the same coin, right? They're the same experience sort of arriving together. And fortunately, they are really beautiful, so that maybe does bring some solace, especially to some of the toughest moments. And not just the way they look, but also the way that we feel when we're around them, the way they smell, and that kind of energy of flow, right? Flowers, right? That flow that they bring when maybe we're getting stuck by a difficult emotion. So here is a beautiful flowering, flowing artwork that Karen shared. So I just love how Karen has had artworks for our last couple topics. Another synchronicity. So just gaze at this beautiful rendition of flowers. And one thing I'll say is that art is a way of keeping that impermanence held a little bit, right? So these flowers will always bloom. Thank you, Karen. Hello. Next, we have some flower felted artwork by, I think, Robin, your daughter-in-law, or your stepdaughter. You're muted. You're muted.
Stepdaughter, yes.
Thank you, stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter in Colorado, yeah.
A daughter. Oh, this color. Okay, wonderful. We're making connections. So here's some beautiful felted flowers. Again, this way of making the impermanence a little bit more permanent. So beautiful. You can feel the inspiration that she had when she created this to give to Robin. And then here's that beautiful chakra artwork that Robin put together with her inspiration from our class last week, where we sort of played around with the colors and the different chakras and the different meanings that might have for our internal garden, right? In our Qigong practice, we are constantly cultivating our internal garden, our internal nectary, right? So each chakra we know produces different nectars, right? Hormones, glandular secretions, right? So this, and flowers each have all their own nectar too. So we can kind of connect this beautiful alchemical internal garden with Robin's beautiful artwork. Thank you, Robin. Hello. Oh, and this is very small for me to read. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I wanted to share this beautiful poem by one of my favorite poets, Rosemary Watola Traumer. There we are. Here's a sunflower that was blooming in my neighborhood a few weeks ago. So, the topic of this poem is more love, more love. And I'll just invite you to let the words wash over you and notice if there's a particular word or phrase that strikes you today. And you can play with that word or phrase, after our class or during our class, as sort of a personal oracle into what might be coming through for you, what information wants to be seen today. Okay. More Love by Rosemary Watola Traumer. Sorrow is how we learn to love. And that's a quote from Rita Mae Brown, Riding Shotgun. If sorrow is how we learn to love, then let us learn. Already enough sorrow's been sown for whole continents to erupt into astonishing tenderness. Let us learn. Let compassion grow rampant, like sunflowers along the highway. Let each act of kindness replant itself into acres and acres of widespread devotion. Let us choose love as if our lives depend on it. The sorrow is great. Let us learn to love greater. Riotous love, expansive love. Love so rooted, so common, we almost forgot the world could look any other way. Now I'm just going to flip through some more flower glam photos from our dear Shayna. Just invite you to stay in a contemplative state and see what unfolds. Witnessing the impermanence. And then I'd just like to close with a super cheesy song that feels very touching to me right now. Let's see if I can play this. Let's see. This is The Rose by Bette Midler. It's perfect though.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
So I'll leave us with that. And I firmly believe it is part of the flowers medicine. Again, to help us flow, and that can mean to help the tears flow. I just can't get through that presentation without tears streaming down my face. So, what a gift. What a gift to be connected with that deep level of emotion that we have inside. And it's, I mean, as I'm talking, I'm like crying, but I'm also filled with this like gorgeous, beautiful feeling that I don't get to feel very much. And I think that's because of the flowers. So, all right, I'm going to open it up to all of you because I got to wipe my eyes. But anyway, Ben missed the beginning of the presentation, so he might not, understand it. But just in case you need some tissue, love, there you go. All right, Robin, you're up.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. As we were driving here today, we were talking about our friend Sharon, who she and Greg we kept in the field for years as he went through his cancer journey, and he left us in early January. And Sharon right now is down on the John Day River in Oregon on her first river trip in 11 years. They were big time. I mean, they were rafting guides. They lived on rivers for years. And, in the long, long journey that Greg had, she hadn't been on a river for 11 years. She's on her first river trip. And it's just that whole thing makes me cry. It's like the joys and the sorrows of returning to what they did. And she's with really good friends that they did a lot of that with. But there's these two sides of it. And that's just making me cry, is that she'll be there without him, but with him, the both sides. So yeah, joys and sorrows.
Thanks, Robin. Now I'm crying even more. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, they lived on the river for years. The yearning that phrase evokes. That yearning of not being able to return to the river. And now she's there. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Howla, thank
Yeah,
you.
just watching her life, she's a flower opening again. Is now she's free to go back to all these things, and she has hard times, but she says living in joy is my path, to live in joy as much as she can. And then she has her moments of sorrow, but she's good with those too. So she's just this perfect example of living both sides. Yeah.
Thank you, Robin. Howla. And thanks to Greg and Sharon. They've been with us a lot. So you still are. Yeah. Thank you.
I can't show you my face because of this device that I'm on right now, but that was very beautiful. Thank you so much, Megan. And that I wish there was, I'm sure in some languages there is a word for that place where the grief and the love come together in that kind of, where the tears are both joy and pain at the same time. And to me, that's the most exquisite human experience, because that's the heart of compassion.
I don't know, I'm crying more. Thank you, Shayna, for those gorgeous, exquisitely beautiful words. Yeah, yeah, agreed. It can be hard to access that place, the tears, where it's kind of, we have a lot of fear around it, right? So, thank you, flowers. Thank you, flowers from Shayna's garden. Yeah, howla. And sending flowing, healing energy to Shayna, especially her mouth and teeth and bones. Yeah, howla.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my heart, please.
Oh, and your heart. Absolutely. We got a special flower for that one. Yeah, I'm imagining the bleeding hearts. Bleeding is in pumping free flow of chi through them. Yes. Howla. Thank you. Any other comments or anything else that's floating through your consciousness around flowers? Yeah, Craig.
That song gets me too. Uh, uh,
you are kind of breaking up. I don't know. Robin had better,
It's beautiful.
you better go on Robin's phone. Oh, are you there?
For me, I got a young, what? Okay, hang on a minute.
You kind of
Sorry,
came
don't
back.
look. I'm moving.
There
It's
we
okay. It's a yeah.
Yeah,
To
you
me,
bet.
it's a Yanantin, which is the complementary opposites, and each has their purpose. I always look at it this way, and each one of them helps us to feel in fullness the other when they're together, and going back and forth between the two, um, we feel it so much more intensely and fully and deeply. And
Oops. Oh, wait. He'll come back. No. Wait. Uh-oh. You gotta ask to unmute.
I think
Sorry.
it's coming through me for some reason.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
I can hear now. Go ahead.
so so
yeah.
what 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 came to me was the image of pulling taffy,
Hmm.
of the sorrow and the joy, creating this beautiful, sweet, delicious candy, and just going back and forth between the two. And Shauna, there's in Quechua language. Here, I'm gonna threw my phone away.
Take mine.
There's a Quechua language. There's three words. There's actually four. Well, express three levels of meeting and engaging, and coming more into relationship, into oneness. And I think, Sean, the word you were trying to describe is take, take, take.
Oh, I think we just have Craig's phone now. Here, let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. Now Robin is back, Craig is back, but you're both muted. Here, let's see. Gotta unmute, guys. Oh, yay. There we go.
Yeah.
Word. So the word, if you can catch it, is take, take, take. Tupoi, tupai.
Huh.
Maybe both of you need to unmute.
These are Craig's secret teachings. The universe is trying to keep them from us. We want to hear
Can
you,
you hear me?
Craig.
It may
Yeah.
be.
Well, I should get off.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
Yes, good. I think you have to unmute both. Good job.
Okay. All right.
We
Go
heard the
again. You got to tell. They wanted the word again. They didn't hear it.
Oh, the word is take, and it's there's three levels. There's four, but there's three levels of meeting and in relationship, and when they come into oneness and further more into oneness, and that, I think, Shauna, what you were describing, which is so cool, and thank you for describing that, is that's the word that came, is take.
Craig, what was the word you said at the very beginning? There was a different word when you first started talking.
Tupai.
Oh, Yanantin.
Oh, Yanantin. Yanantin. Yeah, it's the complementary opposites, and they're
That's
nothing is good, nothing is bad. It's the same that concept, and it's so that I like it because I can embrace both, and knowing that both are divine, and and I can engage with them that way, and to experience them both kind of at the same time or back and forth is a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much for giving us language to what we're feeling. It's so necessary. And Shana's right, we don't have the proper languaging in our culture. So maybe we can borrow Quechua. I'll have to get the spelling of both of those when you guys come back into town. No hurry. So I can share it with the group. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Howla. Howla to Craig and Robin. Howla to technology. Howla to being graced with being able to understand most of what you said. Yay. To get the secret teachings. Thank you.
I really appreciated hearing that song again. It's been a long time, and I heard it with really different ears and eyes than when I've heard it in the past. And with more years behind me, hearing the sentences about the holding back, that love of somewhat some fear, like the love of not wanting to risk, like including that as part of love felt really poignant because it's easy to see the love in the grand gestures and the chances and all of the big things, but then to give voice to that love that makes us pause and wonder, and just that heart, that heart that's breaking or that heart that we kind of hold out in the world. I didn't realize how much the song captures, and then to call it the rose is perfect because it's the sharp thorns and the beauty and the sweet, so it's the bittersweet of life. So I didn't, yeah, thank you, it's just a whole new experience of the song. um yeah, and I sit with that bittersweet a lot anyways, and then to have all of that juxtaposed and the rose, so thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, howla. Yes, I agree. And also how it brings in the seed. It brings in the theme of the seed. So that's where we just came from. I mean, think about it. Think about the courage that you have to flower fully like that. I mean, you're out there and you are noticed, right? As a flower. And yeah, so it's a lot of courage to love like that. And it may not work, or it may not be reciprocated, or whatever. The bee may not come and pollinate you. I don't know what the analogy is, but there's a fear. Yeah. I'd love to share um, where this grief and joy, sorrow, joy theme came from very briefly. And it was really a co-creation between Elizabeth and I. So I was leaving her a voice memo yesterday. I just returned from the retreat. I got to spend the weekend at the retreat with Teacher Wei and friends. And I was leaving a voice memo, just giving her the 5-minute rundown, and my honeybees swarmed. So I think this is the fourth time, literally this year, fourth time that my bees have swarmed while I was talking to Elizabeth. And so I went to follow them, and they flew way up in the sky and did this gorgeous dance in the sun, and then went over to my neighbor's yard. And my neighbors were actually outside, and they love bees, so we all just watched them. And the bees went way up in an oak tree, and there's no way I would ever be able to get them. Howla. And so then I just got to talking to my neighbors who I haven't seen in years. And long story short, they told me a very tragic story of their daughter-in-law and how she was killed, and how it's been extremely challenging for their family, because she left 5 small kids, 2 of which were in critical care for a month after the accident. And anyway, it's a whole thing. And so I sat with them for 2 hours, and it was extremely clear that the bees had literally brought me to them. They do this, the bees do this, this is common. And so I just sat there and witnessed and asked questions and about her and them and whatnot. And they shared with me that she loved flowers and plants, and they both had beautiful memories of her walking around their gorgeous garden, and they had 3 or 4 actually different plants that she had given them for different celebrations, and they showed them all to me, and they were all purple flowers, and they were all blooming and so beautiful. Um, and I came back from that meeting and shared it with Elizabeth, like, guess where the bees brought me today? And that's when Elizabeth said, I guess our theme is grief and joy. So I just want to honor Grace. It's the young woman who was killed, and her family, her husband David, and her, everyone who loves her and her family, and I just hold them. And gratitude to the bees and the flowers and the synchronicities of life that are woven together so deeply in our nature healing gatherings. This is really living that Mingjue connection so deeply. So thank you. Well, if you all are ready, we could go into a very flowy healing session. I mean, energy's moving. So I'll invite you to hold in your hearts all of your intentions, but especially those deepest and most precious ones. I'll invite you to find a comfortable position to deepen into this healing practice together. And closing your eyes, just notice where your energy and where your emotions and where your attention is flowing. Breathe into that. Breathe into those opposites of life. The darkest dark and the brightest bright. And how they weave through everything in your life. And notice where in your body you have the capacity to hold them both today. Notice where in your body it feels the most safe to hold both the grief and the joy swimming around together, swirling and merging and transforming, alchemizing, nourishing your internal garden. And allow yourself to feel gratitude for that capacity that you have within you. That capacity to hold both, to experience both, to witness both. Courageously and lovingly. And as Shana said, that is our compassion. That is our connection to compassion. That is our connection to one another. And now letting that go, bringing attention to Shenji Palace, the center of your head. And we'll consciously deepen into our Mingjue, allowing the observer to observe itself. Allowing our boundaries to feel permeable, allowing this essence of Mingjue to flow through our bodies. Becoming very aware of our energy body. And now becoming aware of our energy body, expanding, so that we may merge more fully with everybody in this class today and in the recording. Allowing ourselves to expand and expand past space and time, merging with all of the teachers, all of the sages, all of the practitioners of wisdom traditions. Consciously connecting in with the vast energy of the earth, rooting deeply with the earth. And now expanding out, also consciously connecting with the entire universe. Becoming one with the entirety. Allowing Huanyan Qi to flow through our bodies effortlessly. Merging with the medicine of the flowers, allowing the flow through our bodies. Allowing blood and qi and lymph and consciousness to flow freely through our entire bodies. And now we will practice being one with the empty but not emptiness of space and time. Starting with the head inner space. Shu. Shu. Allowing the head inner space to become empty and clear. Shu. Noticing the neck and allowing the neck to become empty and clear. Shu. Shu. Allowing the free flow of energy and consciousness through the neck. Shoo. Allowing the Mingjue field to merge with the shoulders, the arms, and the hands. Shoo. Shoo. Our shoulders, arms, and hands are empty and open. Allowing the free flow of Mingjue energy to flow down the spine, upper spine, middle spine, lower spine, flowing. Shoo. Energy and consciousness freely flowing through the spine. Shoo. The Mingjue field merges with our precious baby hearts and our lungs and our breasts and the rib cage. Shoo. Shoo. The heart, lungs, and breasts empty and clear. Shoo. Our Mingjue entirety field merges with the solar plexus, with Huanyan Palace, the pancreas, and all the organ systems. Shoo. Shoo. Merging with the medicine of flowers, allowing the emotions to flow freely. Shoo. Empty and clear. Allowing our Mingjue field to merge with lower Dantian, the hips, the pelvis, reproductive system, the kidneys, adrenals. Shoo. Shoo. Lower Dantian is empty and clear. Energy and consciousness flow freely. Allowing the Mingjue entirety field to merge down the legs, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet. Shoo. Shoo. Energy and consciousness flowing freely down the legs. Integrating this flow in our entire bodies. Our bodies harmonized with chi, harmonized with consciousness. We are empty and open. We are one with the matrix, the mother, the love, flowing like a flower. The energy moves where it needs to go. Healing is instant, automatic. Healing is already done. Our becoming is instant. And now imagine every cell in your body smiling and blooming with the flowers. Every cell is happy, expressing its love fully. Every cell is connected in harmony, like a field of wild flowers. The cells in your body express their beauty, their creativity, their genius, their love, and their cooperation that serves healing and awakening. That cooperation that serves peace, harmony, and joy, and abundance. Just sit for a few moments in this field of wild flowers that is your body, that are your cells, enjoying the harmony. Allowing yourself to be nourished by the light, nourished by the sun of Huanyan Qi, flowing from the center of the universe. And now feeling gratitude for the sun, for the Huanyan Qi, and feeling gratitude for the earth, our mother, what holds our roots. And when you're ready, you can start gently moving, maybe the toes, maybe moving the hips, circling the body, noticing what's shifted. Maybe moving the shoulders, allowing the spine to flow. Coming back fully into these beautiful bodies, our beautiful gardens. And giving gratitude to our bodies for allowing us these beautiful experiences together, for allowing us to feel all the emotions, for allowing us to connect so deeply. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes. Or not. Hello. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you,
flowers.
Megan.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Megan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
Welcome. Thank you. We'll be back next week. Keep sending us any flower inspirations you may have. Who knows where the flowers will take us? It will be a surprise. All right. Much
Will
love, you all.
do. Bye, y'all.
Bye.